Talk Story, the longest running talk show on Maui, 30 years and growing. And in all these 30 years and so many wonderful experiences at the Seabury Hall Crafts Fair, I've never met Gayle Hart before, and she blessed us with her presence today. Gosh, Gayle, it's so good to see you. Aloha, welcome.
Hi.
Hi. And with Gayle today is Shelley Timmons and Tara Tarpey. Is that correct? Right name?
Tara Tarpey, yes.
Tara Tarpey. So welcome all. It's always so much fun to talk about the Seabury Hall Crafts Fair. I go up country. I don't live up country now. I used to, but I go up country on Sundays. And this is one of my favorite times of year. The white horses are in the green fields, and there's jacaranda in bloom everywhere, and it is so, so beautiful. As soon as I start to see the jacaranda blooming up there, I think almost time for the Seabury Hall Crafts Fair. It's coming up, folks. It's going to be May 11th, the day before Mother's Day, and it's always been the day before Mother's Day, hasn't it been, Gayle?
Yes.
This is how many years?
46.
46 years. Wow. Think of the changes that have happened up there, up country, and at Seabury Hall, and the growth that's happened over 46 years. My gosh, there's been so much building and going on, and how many kids have graduated in the 46 years? Like, wow.
A few thousand.
I'd say. In fact, we were just talking here, but Tara said you have you have a son that's been there since 6th grade?
Correct, yeah. My son Bryce is a senior this year, and he's been at Seabury since 6th grade.
Think about that. That's been a big chunk of his life. It's been there at Seabury.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you were blessed because you were able to get scholarship help.
Yeah. With always wanting Bryce to go to Seabury, but afraid we couldn't afford it. And when he applied in 6th grade, we were very pleased to be recipients of financial aid, and he has been able to receive it every year since then. So it's been a
great gift.
A tremendous blessing for us.
Yeah. And you have another child in college.
Yes, I'm going to have, actually, she's on a gap year right now, but they'll both be starting college in the fall.
Big. And Shelley, you've got a son who's a sophomore.
I do.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he came and started at what year? When did he
started in his 6th grade year also.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So, I mean, when you have that kind of many years involved, and you again, 2.
Yeah, I had a son that graduated 3 years ago.
And now he's getting close to graduating from the University of San Diego.
Yes.
So this is really a whole Ohana thing, isn't it? When you have that much time and 2 kids who go through Seabury. What part, and we got to really mention this because a lot of people still don't know, that this Seabury Hall Craft Fair that's coming up on May 11th is a major part of helping to create these scholarships that allow people to go to Seabury who couldn't go otherwise, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's about what percentage of children are going through scholarship?
About over 25%.
That's a large amount.
Very large for any kind of private school.
And this is really made possible. A lot of it is because of the money raised at these crafts fairs, right?
Well, they gave over $1 million in scholarship, and we, do an average of $150,000 in one day that we can give to them. So it's amazing with just 700 parents and the kids that probably amount to about 1,000 people pull it off, because compared to Punahou, we really do well.
There's a little bit of that competition out there.
Well, Punahou does a 2-3 day thing, and they do raise a couple $1 million or $4 million.
Wow!
But what they give back to the school is about $400,000.
Wow!
And of that, maybe $200,000 is accomplished by a major art sale. So when you comparing 200, and we're in the same realm, and it's done by a small school with 350 families.
And I don't think a lot of people may also realize a beautiful thing about Seabury Hall is you own that property free and clear.
Mm-hmm.
You own it. You don't have to make payments. The money's all going towards the staff and building and creating what you have and developing great teachers. I mean, really top quality teachers, right? That really make a difference in children's lives. I mean, they've changed people's lives. And I have to honor those teachers. I mean, I've seen so many great teachers, even just the Performing Arts Center and the cultural teachers. And I mean, you always try to find the teachers that do make a difference and have that top level of expertise and in their lives so they can share it with the children. And the sports and all of that
They
as
do
well.
exceedingly well
Yeah.
for a small school,
Almost every student graduates and goes to college, right?
pretty much.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive.
I was going to say, one of the other great things that Seabury has that not too many other schools do is a sense of community. And these kids, they stay in contact with each other through the years, and they support each other. Like, I don't know, I saw Kit Okazaki out there. He's an alum.
Yes,
He's doing the entertainment for us, and if you see the list, he's the
is
one
he
that...
doing that?
So
I didn't know that.
on this one here,
Oh, okay.
he gathered those people.
I had no idea.
And this year we got a really great list of entertainers, and he's been doing it for several years. And
He never even mentioned that. I didn't realize that. And check out some of this entertainment, folks. You've got Amy and Eric Gilliam and Barry Flanagan. Now, those are the very, very, very top names in entertainment. The Country Drivers. You've got also Lewis and Lewis and Kanoa and Jessica Cacao. And also Netta Peraza. I love Netta. Yeah, I know Netta here. And Barbara Singer. And it starts at 9 and it goes to 3. Now, let's talk about the hours and everything. A lot of people like to get their very first thing in the morning, right?
Right, for rummage.
Yes, exactly. And that's 9 o'clock for opening up at 9.
People start there like at 6:30, just staying in line so they can have...
Do they really come that early?
so they can be there
Outside, just standing outside the gates waiting?
Yeah, there's always a big line.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
They make a wild dash to the gym.
Seriously. Because, there's a good reason for that. That rummage sale is probably considered to be one of the finest rummage sales on the island, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's pretty
it's
outrageous.
huge.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, and plus, they do such a nice job of setting it up. It's neat. You got your own furniture displays.
How long does that last?
As soon as those people come in, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful rummage. I mean, just well done by the rummage crew.
Well, I mean, there's some amazing deals there, too. I mean, if you like good deals, that rummage is definitely got top quality stuff, right?
Yeah, and we always have all kinds of items. Yeah, so it's a great place to walk around, and even if you don't think you're going to find something, you probably will.
So parking, is there a charge for parking? How does that work?
So parking in the pasture that's loaned to us by Kanaolu Ranch is free. It's grassy and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Parking in the pave area, we charge $10.
That's a VIP parking right behind the Performing Arts Center there.
By the Performing Arts Center and by the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And the paved areas are, and the closest ones are, like $10 a
And
car.
that kind of depends on the weather, too, doesn't it? I mean, whether people decide to get closer far away, because you never know. I have seen the weather go from unbelievably hot to the point of going, oh my gosh, this is really hot, to the point where sometimes it's really coming down rain, to the point where it's rainy and hot all in the same day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've seen that, right? You just never know.
Yeah.
It's just, that's up country, right? Mm-hmm. But you know what? Even if it's raining, it never stops people from coming, does it?
You're absolutely right. Like in our rained out years, we still were able to, our markers like 100,000, 200,000, and we're still able to make those markers. So thanks to the Maui community people that just bring their rain boots and raincoats and just prepared for anything.
Upcountry people are ready for it no matter what, right? It's like, oh yeah, no, it's not going to stop us. I mean, one year I went, oh my gosh, it's raining so hard. I'm really worried how they're going to do it. And I was talking to Brenda out there. She said, oh no, people upcountry, it doesn't stop them. Rain is not going to stop them from coming, and it's true. But there's a lot of things we're going to talk about, including that food, that delicious food. When you walk in, there's this smell of fresh baked croissants and pastry that just draws you. I mean, it's like a magnet. It pulls you right over, right? I mean, and I don't know who makes that wonderful pastry, but it is the most delicious pastry. It's just there on the right side when you walk in. Who's you're in charge
Yeah.
of food, so tell us about that.
So we do a lot of things in-house, and we also have a lot of donations. Different people, different restaurants, hotels. Yeah,
Oh.
so we kind of get food from different areas, but we do a lot of in-house as well.
Yeah. That's why it smells like that.
Yeah,
Pretty nice.
yeah, yeah, and we like to try to have a big variety.
That's a little food court there, isn't it?
So that's La Patisserie, which is all of the baked goods, not only croissants, but cookies, pies, waffles in the morning, and then our main food area is Mauna Lea Grinds, which is all the food booths.
And there's a lot. How many food booths do you have this year?
I think we have about 12,
That's a
maybe
lot.
14. Yeah. We all kinds of things. Yeah. Chow Fun, which is always one of
Always
our big
popular.
sellers.
I
and
love it, yeah.
Another thing that you probably smell when you come up to the campus is they cook it right there, fresh. Terry chicken. We've got a fish taco booth this year that's new. Indian curry. We've
Oh,
got a
that's
lot
always good. I like that. Yeah.
really good. We try to have a lot of vegetarian, vegan,
Yes,
and gluten
thank you.
free
And vegetarian
items as
and-
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we've got to definitely have a variety of food.
We got to have gluten free sometimes, right?
Yeah,
You
we
gotta-
do. Yeah.
No, it's really fun to wander. I mean, you can start with the patisserie and start your day out for those who do come right at the break of 9 o'clock or at the break of dawn and get in at 9. And then, you can wander around and shop, and you've got wonderful, wonderful crafts booths. My gosh, there's just really, usually it's about 100. How are you doing this year?
It's a little over 100 again.
This is really one that a lot of people try to get in because
They
this
do.
is considered to be one of the finest crafts fairs, isn't it?
And like every year, it's so hard to say no to people, and we've been trying to tune it to become Hawaiian inspired, because we know that we're trying to support the local crafters as well. And maybe you can't always have it made in Hawaii, but it's their design. So we try to honor that now. And if they have it made elsewhere, then we honor that. And try to give them a nice variety. It's not only about jewelry, but really about other things that are happening.
Well, no, that's very, very true. And there's been everything from people having to buy a hat because they thought it was going to be cold, but then they got so hot that they had to get a hat, right? So, I mean, that's always, I've done that. I've raised my hands. I've been there, and it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't bring a hat because I didn't think it was going to be this hot. But I have to have a hat if I'm going to be wandering around all day, right? So everything from that to some great clothes to a lot of wonderful gifts for Mom for Mother's Day. A lot of unique handmade items that are better than you can make it yourself, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely, and more emphasis on like hakule making. So we're having alumni parents come back, and under the guidance of like Sheila Haynes, and so they're gathering flowers and making them like just before craft fair. So there'll be a nice assortment of hakules, as well as like
that's nice.
little gifts for moms and cactus plants in little cups and stuff like that, so the kids can buy for their mom, as well as all the flower arrangements and things like that.
Hakules, my gosh, those are so precious, and I always like to get the ones that don't dry out. Now, that may they dry out, but they don't die. You can wear them again, I mean, because those are really wonderful, wonderful things to have. And you know what, people, I mean, it's May Day's coming up tomorrow. And, we think about, how wonderful that tradition is of flowers and the tradition of giving a lei, and that part that makes us feel like we're graced by the beauty of Maui, and the special flowers here, which is a wonderful thing. So you're going to have the water slide again. That's always popular. And you're going to do the rummage sale. But another one we want to talk about is the silent auction, because everyone gets together. I don't know, who pulls the silent auction together? Do you know? Who's in charge of the silent auction?
This year,
Yeah.
it's Brandy Kadujoy.
It's a lot of work.
A lot of work, a lot
It's
of people.
big ticket items that are really amazing things. What are some of the things that you have for silent auction?
Well, the usual like hotel rooms, restaurants. So we're still working on a few exciting things.
Artwork.
A lot of
artwork, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm trying to put together some unique packages that you usually can't get elsewhere.
Yeah.
And that's still in the wraps, so.
I have a friend, oh my gosh, she will buy, I mean, the most amazing things. She's a silent auction freak. And she will buy, no matter what event is going on, she will end up getting something really, really special at a silent auction. And she doesn't mind spending anything she can spend because it's for a good cause, right? But there's a lot of people like that like to do the shopping because you never know. Sometimes you can't get a really good buy, but that's going on from, does it start right at 9, and when does that silent auction end?
They're probably going to shut it down around 3:30.
Oh, right, almost to the
And
end.
everything is done on your smartphone or in a
Oh, what? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you can actually be at home and
Seriously?
make a bid.
How do you do that?
You have to sign up for it and get the app on your cell phone.
Is it called Seabury Hall? How do you find the app,
Well, you have to go to at least sign up right there.
Oh, okay.
And then maybe on our website.
Oh, I see.
And next week, all of this will be probably happening as we get closer to the day, and you can view our items online.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
So if you put in Seabury Hall on your phone,
or on your phone or on the
app search.
browser,
Yeah.
and just go to our website, and that's probably how you can sign up.
Oh,
and you can
okay.
see auction items, and when you sign up, then you'll go right into our website for the auction.
I really didn't know about that. I think that's great. That's kind of new.
The other
Isn't
thing
it?
good about auction too is that if you're not a person that likes to sit by and wait to see if you're
Yeah.
going to be outbidded, you can do buy now, which I think is really good.
How do you do that?
If there's a slot at the end that just says that you want to buy it,
And you put it at the asking price, basically, and then you can just
right,
get it.
right,
And so it doesn't get overbid. You don't get overbid.
right.
I like that. The website is seaburyhall.org, and it has all of that on there.
Most of it on there.
Still in progress.
Yeah.
Still a work in progress, but it's coming.
Yeah, by next week, Monday, there should be a site that says auction.
Now, let's talk about the fun for the cake, because this really definitely is a family-oriented event, right?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
You
Definitely
wanna
bring
tell
the
us-
kids.
Tell us what you've got scheduled, for the
Well,
kids.
there's the water slide, and we have 2 separate water slides for different age groups to keep it safe and fun. And they can do that all day. It's probably one of the
Right.
best bargains at our craft fair for
Is that
kids.
on the side towards where the Performing Arts Center is back down there?
No, it's down towards the gym. There's a hill
Oh, yeah, down there, yeah.
over there, and so what we've done is set it up so that, like I said, it keeps it really safe. But the wonderful thing about it is they can do it over and over and over again throughout the entire day while their parents are enjoying shopping and buying things and seeing things at the craft
That's
fair and
good.
listening to the entertainment.
And it's a safe space.
Exactly.
I mean, it's nice to know that, the family's all safe up there.
Right. And then we have games for the kids. We have pony rides.
I love the pony rides. I'm so glad you bring those back. I think that's great.
Yeah.
And that's down on the back side.
It's all
by the-
together. Actually, what we did was we switched it last year, and we put everything together. So it's one great section down there below the gym where
Okay.
the kids can enjoy all of the things that are for the keiki.
Ah.
So they can do the water slides, they can do the bouncy houses, and they can
Oh, that's a good
do
idea.
all of it together, and
Yeah.
you're not running to all different sections.
And a lot of screaming and yelling and shouting. And
That's why we put them
kids-
as far away from. No, I'm kidding.
Well, and it's great for the parents because they're all in one place, so they just kind of sit around and lounge on the hill
Yes.
by the food, so they can watch their kids, or just be right there. So it's a nice thing to do.
And we're going to go over the food that you've got here, Tara, because this is a good lineup of food.
Get it early.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Goes
Come
fast.
The Kiabi smoked pork ribs with poha berry barbecue sauce. Who's
Yeah.
doing that?
So this is Duo, a restaurant from the Four
Oh,
Seasons.
wow.
Yes, they come every year and always amaze us with some
Wow.
gourmet treat. So this is their menu this year, and it is always mouth-watering.
Do they also do the kula corn and goat cheese?
Yeah, so this is...
I've never had goat cheese fries. That sounds
I know,
really
goat
interesting.
cheese fries. I've never had them either. I'm excited to try them.
Wow.
So yeah, this is their plate with a little variety of everything.
So we're vegetarian. You can have kula corn and goat cheese fries.
Yeah.
I would. Then you have grilled teriyaki chicken and rice with Asian slaw. Grilled teriyaki chicken and Fairmont Kailani fried rice. That sounds very good. And you got the Fairmont Kaylani coming up with the vegetarian fried rice, too. Thank you.
Yeah, they're great. They always support us every year and make a delicious vegetarian fried rice
I
that
love
you
that.
can have on its own, or if you do want to pair it with the terry chicken, you can have it like with that too.
Who's doing the Indian veggie curry with jasmine rice?
Well,
Is
it's made by Uma Duje, and
Oh.
she's pretty much known for her
Yes, I know of
Indian
hummus.
food, so
Yeah,
it's great.
Wonderful. And then there's the pulled pork sandwich with pineapple salsa. Who's doing that, you know?
Paul Luuvai.
Ah,
And
so you
he's
know all these people.
Kohane, yeah.
You know, yeah. Is that related to
Hawaiian
Shirley?
style paddling club.
Oh, okay. And then, as we mentioned, the chow fun. And thank you, veggie tofu pad thai. Sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Who's doing the pad thai?
Our friend Malini, who is a mom of two with two kids at Seabury, she's from Thailand, and she is heading up the booth this year. And we've gotten to taste test already
Oh, my.
her recipe of the pad thai noodles, and they are fabulous.
And, of course, breakfast burritos, good to grab and go, hot dogs, and what would it be without Spam musubi?
Yeah, and a little note about those breakfast burritos, too. We try to get those out really early in the morning. So all those people that come early are standing in line for the rummage to open at
Yeah.
9. We come around and...
They can buy them while they're standing in
so
line.
while they're standing there waiting around, because those people
Aw.
leave home early to get up in that line. So we do have our breakfast burritos ready to go, and then everything else at the fair opens at 10:30 for lunch. So all the booths will be open from 10:30 on.
Excellent, but except the patisserie is open earlier.
Yeah, patisserie is open
yeah,
early. All the
yeah,
baked goods.
Yeah. No, and that's definitely important. Okay, we haven't talked about something I love, the native plants and the flowers and floral. Because you know what? Those are really great gifts for Mother's Day. And I know those really, actually, people, they just clean up on those, don't they? So what do you do when people buy a bunch of stuff? Now, you've got a tote bag, right? Can people get tote bags?
Not tote bags, but like we have a sack sitters that you can just take it
Oh,
to.
sack sitters.
And then I think within the potted plants area, they may have students there that may say, "We'll help you move your plants to their cars."
That's good because sometimes you need. I mean,
Yeah.
a plant or two could fill everything up that you've got right then. So,
Right, so they
you
can
can just leave them there and then pick them up when you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Sack sitters is a good idea.
But that's great that you mention totes, because we really try to encourage all of our visitors to come and bring bags.
Thanks.
So that
That's
they
good to
can
know.
shop and fill them up, and
Yeah.
we can recycle our bags that we have already.
That's a good idea. I mean, you want a big one. So maybe bring something on wheels.
We've had that.
I love that idea. You can take that one you take to the beach, with the wheel, the push cart
The
ones,
cart.
and
Yeah.
the cart, and just fill those. I don't know if they still have them at Walmart, but I used to have one of those, and I just would fill things up because sometimes one tote bag isn't really enough. And not only that, I mean, after walking around for a while in that tote bag, I guess you'd have to leave it over at the sack sitters because it can get heavy when you
Yes.
buy a bunch of stuff as well. And because there's so much to do there. And tell me how it works with the rummage sale. Let's explain how this world famous rummage sale actually happens. Do all the students and the teachers and everyone get together? Is it just all the parents that bring the thing, or how do you create this rummage sale?
I think our whole community, and then the word gets out, and you have friends and people that want to contribute. And we start this months in advance. And so we're filling up containers, shipping containers with merchandise. And then eventually it goes to where it's just loaded in our gym. And
Actually, shipping containers?
yeah.
Oh,
Seriously, you actually feel
Yeah,
like
we have
we have
big
a, like
container
a
on
20
campus.
20-foot container.
You do?
I have several rooms on the campus that I fill.
Wow.
Yeah, it's to the point like now I don't have room, so I'm just saying everybody bring your things on Sunday.
So how far in advance do you start this, Gayle?
Whenever anybody wants to give me anything, I've learned to take it.
Wow,
Like if they're
interesting.
moving, take it because
That's
Yeah.
the perfect time.
yeah, otherwise they give it to somebody else, and that's why we have one of the best rummage sales.
It's because sometimes people need to get rid of their
Yes.
stuff, and you've just been stashing it.
Yes. No, my boss doesn't like it. I'm always
She's got
my
stuff
big
everywhere.
boss. Yeah. We'll joke about rummage and putting it.
How long have you been there, Gayle?
Oh, this will be my 19th year.
Wow, isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
And tell us let's talk a little bit about Seabury and what's happened in those 19 years that you've been there. You've been involved for
6 years.
6 years, and how
This
long?
is my seventh.
Seventh year. Let's talk about how special the actual location is, the building, the people. What makes Seabury Hall Seabury Hall? When you think of all the years that it's been there and all the people it's gone through, there really is this amazingly, I think it's kind of a cherished place on Maui that a lot of people have a deep fondness for. So when you came, what is it that struck you about Seabury and working there? What drew you to Seabury?
Well, first the education, right? I mean, that's my kids went to school there, and that's what I totally appreciated. And as the years went by, and it became the people that I worked with, and their love for Seabury, and trying their best to make it what it is today, the best that it can be. And the parents, for me, it's the parents. You know, like when I work with these ladies, it's like you get to know them so well, and then when they go off and graduate or leave, you know, it's like part of you's gone with them, and you miss them, you know. But those are, you know, if you work with them, that's when you really get to know people.
So this crafts fair really is drawing everyone together and making it a tighter community.
Yeah,
at
and
Seabury.
it's past, you know, it's a community event. You know, it's like I think about sometimes. Well, maybe we should not do it because it's so
so much work.
Yes, but it's the Maui community as well that we affect, and the people that that give to us because they truly believe in a good education, and they know and they want to get as many people there as possible, the children.
And raising this money. I mean, you're talking about 100,000 plus.
Yeah.
That's a great amount to help towards those scholarships, right? I mean, and you think of people like Dara, you wouldn't have been able to experience that without the scholarships.
Yeah, absolutely. We wouldn't have been able to. Yeah, the scholarship money was key for my son to attend there.
It's life-changing.
It is. It's absolutely life-changing. Yeah, and you mentioned earlier that, the jacarandas are blooming right now. It's just the campus is gorgeous.
It is.
And I have a lot of friends from Kihei who look forward to coming up country every year. It's like their yearly trek, And, I mean, the campus is beautiful with the flowers, but I really feel like the community, not only just the Seabury community, the families, but the larger community, that this is an event. You always see somebody that or you meet somebody new. It's fun to be out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the view does not hurt.
No, that's very true. I remember when they started doing the additions, and you've gone through a few additions and expansions, and they also this is also provided for by generous donations a lot of times, where there's been a lot of people helping. And you needed more room, right? I mean, you need more buildings because you only have so much in the building space. And you started doing serious expansions about when? Was that about 15 years ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got the CAC, the Creative Arts Center. Well, the gym came first.
Oh, yeah.
Then the new upper school buildings. Then, the middle school buildings. And then the Creative Arts Center is probably the last thing we've just done.
And the library got an overhaul.
Well, this year we got a little overhauls for the library. And of course, like any building, then you got to start renovating them and overhauling them again.
When you think of 47 years,
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to be considered. And then again, has it gone? Have you thought about solar? Have you started doing solar?
We have.
Because that's it's a lot of electricity as well when you have that much space in school and everything.
We have photovoltaic on the gym.
You do? Yeah. Oh, good.
Because the electric bill is pretty high.
Yeah, I can imagine. And tell us about, you have some excellent teachers. How is it just because the people that do you go after and try to find some of these great ones? I know you have great directors and great music, and you have great, some of the best in the culture. And how do you go about doing search and try to find your teachers and they're the best in their fields?
Well, it's nationwide, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Worldwide, really.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It
has been a worldwide search to find a lot of the people,
Mm-hmm. Like our new head of school that's coming in is coming in from Italy. Milan.
Wow. Really?
She is an American, but, she has been the head of school in Italy and the American school there.
Wow.
for 9 years. So she's coming with a lot of experience
Oh, wonderful.
in an
Oh,
international school.
Yeah.
and so it's a whole different look at it.
Yeah.
That's a biggie.
Yeah.
Tell us about what you experience as far as what your kids like and what they look forward to, because it's important that the kids love going to school, and that's not always the case
No,
in
right.
a lot of schools. The kids do not love going to school. So, I mean, I know I couldn't have enjoyed my school if I didn't have art and I didn't have music, because that's what I loved, and the rest of the things I put up with so I could have my good art and my good music. But what do you see that kids love going to Seabury for?
Well, again, I know that this word has been used a lot in this conversation, but I think the community of Seabury Hall is a very loving, involved community. But I think, like, I had my older son that's already graduated from Seabury. He started in 10th grade, which is kind of an odd year to start for a child. And he loved Seabury Hall, and he excelled so much in not only the academics, but also in athletics. And in his senior year became the student body president. So
Wow.
that was a
So
lot.
you'd think normally you'd have to be in, like some of these kids have been there since 6th grade, and coming in fresh, you'd think that they wouldn't necessarily accept them so quickly.
Right. And that was what I was going to say is I don't believe that the school is what I would say is cliquey. I think that all kids kind of intermix grade levels. It's, there's 80 kids per class, so 80 in 9th grade, 80 in 10th. And that's the upper school. And then in middle school, there's approximately 40 to 45 kids per class. And so it's very intimate. But it's a very accepting school, and we have a lot of diversity. And I think everybody, for the most part, is coming from somewhere, whether it's a different high school or a different middle school, different elementary school.
How have you made that transition to, I know computers have been around for a long time, but it's been more and more tech oriented. It's for learning, and Seabury's kind of a traditional school.
But they use a lot of tech.
So how has that transition happened? And I guess you had to have a lot of tech people come around to try to keep it all up to date and to get it set up. And plus, there's the expense of that. It's
Right.
not cheap, right?
Right. But they see it as something that's necessary. I mean, we don't have enough tech people. We can always use more, but they do, have computer labs, both at middle school and upper school, and they try to be very cutting edge about what they're doing, especially in middle school. They've done different things and involved in the, the Hawaii that show that PBS, they've done videos.
Hikino.
Yeah, they've done that. They've been involved in that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
and do their own videoing, and like they will be videoing the craft fair. I have a bunch of kids that'll be doing that, and then he creates for me a video for the students to see, in the beginning of school and then before craft fair.
Do you have a little section that does that for
Yeah.
video? And you do?
Yeah, I have a great middle school teacher that says, because he wants to show this is real thing happening.
Yeah.
You shoot these pictures, and then you got to edit it and create the
Yeah.
shoot 4 hours of video, and then you make 3 minutes of.
But kids love it,
Yeah.
A lot of kids really. I did video for a long time, and it's fascinating. And it has gotten less expensive, but it still takes a lot of learning to do the real editing and everything. So, if they can learn that and they are attracted to that, that is definitely something to love and be proud of as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of interesting now because I know you work very hard at Seabury to focus on the college and help with the college. And it's a very interesting thing because both of you women have children in college now. But it's an interesting way to how do you decide to get the right match and the right fit. Obviously, it's hard having to see your kids go to the mainland, but how do you go about that?
Well, we have a wonderful college counseling group led by Stephanie Walsh, and she just really does a wonderful job with the kids, starting in their, I guess probably even in their freshman year, but it becomes more and more intense as they get closer to being their senior year and more involved. But they do, they take kids on college campus tours and visits.
Seriously, you actually leave and go to the...
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's expensive.
Yeah, it can be, but when it comes to finding a place that your child's going to live for 4 years outside the home, if parents can afford to do that, then it's a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah.
But then also, too, if they can't afford to go on that, then there's a lot of virtual things that you can do on the computer that can give you an idea of the school that you might want to go to. And but she does a really good job targeting them, their interests, where they want to live regionally.
Get a right fit.
So, like I said, I mean, I just think we have a really great group of college counselors at Seabury Hall that really help direct the kids as to what it is that they want to do.
It seems like Seabury is almost like Camelot in some ways. And is it hard for your kids to, you're laughing, but it's another little world up there. And is it hard, did you find, for your sons to adjust to not only leaving Maui, but to go to another environment that's not so user-friendly? And for them to adjust to what isn't maybe such a really safe environment?
Well, another wonderful thing that happens every year is we have the kids that come back from college the year before when they leave, and they talk about
adjusting.
Even things that are as simple as doing their laundry and having to find quarters on campus. But they also talk about the wonderful things that they learned at Seabury, like their writing skills that we focus so much on, and teaching them how to write essays. And they are really thankful for that, because a lot of their roommates back on the mainland, they get ready to write a 10,000-word essay and they panic, whereas Seabury students are, I got this.
It's interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that, but that is a great gift. But it's interesting that other students may not have got that. I mean, there's a lot of distractions for kids these days, and the sad part that really saddens me is there's a lot of bullying and a lot of sad depression. I guess depression in children, and fear in some children these days. And it's I just think of what some children really have to go through, and young people when they go to high schools, a lot of them don't get the TLC that they're able to get at Seabury, So, I mean, I just kind of going, gosh, it's not, to them, their real world may be very different than the reality that they would see in a big city somewhere, right?
Yeah. And I do think Seabury does a good job at preparing them for the real world. Not just academically, but like the whole college, the whole college process. Like they really hold your hand through that process, and make it very personal to each child. What would be a good fit? I think it's. We're fortunate to have that experience with the college search, and just that they really made it for personalized for each kid, really. Yeah.
And a lot of times, perhaps one of the reputations Seabury has is that they got too much homework, they're doing too much.
Well, isn't that every school?
It is every school. What kid doesn't complain about that?
But the kids know how to balance. So when they do go to college, they can. It's a much easier transition from having, doing all the college courses and stuff like that than the other kids, their roommates. I've heard that many comments, they can handle the sports, they can handle this, and they can make their tests and writing and everything like that. And for other kids, it's been a really big jump for them.
Oh, yeah. And I have to say, with the way social media works these days, there's so much distraction.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of pressure for kids these days. Yeah.
There is. And I think how blessed we are. We don't have some of the things, but you must have policies about the use of your iPhones, your cell phones, your social media input, because that can really take away in many ways from not only school but also what happens at home. It's like, gosh, I see people just living, and it's unfortunate that a lot of kids just live in that world, right? But they don't get the experience of being able to be a part of something like a Seabury Hall craft fair. Or they don't get a chance to do the performing arts, or they don't get a chance to do the essay work and stuff. So, it's really amazing. And we have about a minute left, but I want to remind people you can apply for scholarships, and you can find out more if you go to SeaburyHall.org. I know some people may really think they never could get their children into Seabury Hall. There's no way that could be, and they really probably should go to the crafts fair and make some contacts and see and talk to some of the moms and the people in charge, right?
Yeah, and there's been more and more scholarships available, not only for the Hawaiian kids but also for those who are gifted, You know, you just got to go check it out and, yeah, look on our website or call the admissions office.
What's the number there?
572-7235.
572-7235. And if people are driving, I'm going to repeat it one more time. 572-7235, 572-7235. But again, go to SeaburyHall.org and you can see about all the great stuff that really, really, truly amazing stuff that happens. It's an amazing tradition, the crafts fair. And Gayle, you've been there working at this for so many years, and you've helped so many people. And it's helped to raise so much money, amazing amounts of money to make people's dreams come true. And it's just a lot of fun to be able to go up to country and participate in this crafts fair. May 11th from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And all the great crafts people, some of the very, very top on the island, the great art, a wonderful rummage sale, of course, and all the games and all the cakey activities and the pony rides and the fun that really is just really cherished and loved by everyone. I see people when I go up there. I see people I may not have seen in a year or two or three or four. You connect with people, and it's kind of like a little village. It's kind of like this, just for a few moments, one day, this whole campus is open to everyone to experience. And what a gift.
Mm-hmm.
What an amazing gift that is for people. And I think you really have to say thank you to all of the hardworking people. Yes, there's always mothers,
Dads.
All the dads.
And dads. We don't want to forget dads.
Grandmas and grandpas.
Probably one of the only times, too, that you have teenagers working with their parents.
And they do, huh?
Yes.
And they know how important it is.
Oh, yeah. All the
and they
middle
don't just
schoolers.
go, oh, Mom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, Mom. And you're like, but they understand the importance of it, right? And they want to be proud.
Right.
Of how good, what's going on there and what a great job they're doing. And that is the ohana like that is the ohana of your family and your kids and the ohana of all the parents and all the people and the sponsors. And we haven't got my call from the other person yet, so we can mention it because these sponsors also help make it possible. And so we want to say mahalo to Keiki Soccer. Really? Keiki Soccer?
Has given us, yeah.
Good for them. And Maui Disposal for helping up on disposing.
And many, many other people.
And speaking of Maui Disposal, there's an effort to try to keep this whole event pretty green. And so there's lots of ways you can do that. Water. Okay, you can say it out loud. She's
Bring your
whispering.
water bottles and have them filled all day.
It saves on a lot. It really does save on a lot if you bring your own water bottle. You don't have to have as many plastic bottles, right, if you bring your water bottle. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be one station or one place where you can fill the water bottles, right?
Well, we'll have two beverages booth, and they'll have each. Each will have where you can refill your water bottles.
That's important.
Yeah.
That and your totes and whatever. Should you bring your own forks and knives or spoons or little bamboo?
You can, absolutely. Yeah, but we do in all the food area try to use biodegradable, compostable products.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's very, very important because when you have, how many people come out to an event like this?
I'd say close to 5,000. And we got another 1,000 volunteers, so it's a good amount of people in a one-day time.
Now,
8 hours.
Put that in context. That would be more than filling up the A&B amphitheater that you have outside at the MAC. That would be full at about 5,000. That'd be all you could fit in there. So if you think about that and another 1,000 on top of that, that's a huge amount. And the volunteers doing the parking as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, those are parents, too, and alumni.
Parents out there, so you got to be nice to them. And follow their directions.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go parking where you want to park. Go park where they tell you to park, right?
Right.
Because you've seen that, and I've seen it too. And again, I love art, and I have seen, in fact, there's on the beautiful poster, I don't know who did this, there's this lovely jacaranda painting of the tree in the booth.
It's a photograph, and it was done by a past alumni. So Michael Sugimura, his mom is Yuki Sugimura.
Oh,
And we've used that several times because he just caught the essence of what the fair is all about. It's,
Yuki's husband,
son, went to Seabury Hall.
and he did this.
Yeah,
And he just, because I do this too, but this you can't tell, it's a photo.
yeah.
He made it look more like a piece of art, which
Yeah.
is what I do, which is great. Wow, that's beautiful. And artwork, I know sometimes you've had a special room for art, and have you done that again? Are you doing special rooms? Is there room for any art?
Yes, in the Cooper House.
Tell me about that.
Well, it's the living room. And
Oh, it's a living room.
the living room, and on one side is the auction, and on the living room side is more of the antique things and original art, because so much is given to us. And so our art class would go and put it all up on the walls and just try to get as much art up there because it's so subjective. And
So this is actually from the schools,
school and other people have donated their artwork.
and that is
Mm,
not
student.
up for auction. That's just up. Is that up for sale? Or just
For
on
sale.
display?
First time.
Yeah.
It's like a gallery
Yeah.
in the
So
Cooper
we
House
have
living room.
student art for
I
sale.
don't know if a lot of people know about that.
No, it's kind of quiet because it sits behind La Patisserie, and it's by where you'd walk in to go to the auction. So you kind
Well,
of
that's a
hidden
good
gem.
idea. No, definitely. So you can buy some, and I've seen some of the Seabury art work, and it's some of that work that the students do is amazing.
Yeah, it's impressive. Very
Once I did
impressive.
down at one of the hotels, they had an art contest for youth, and Seabury Hall had about 4 or 5, and I was one of the judges, and I was amazed at what they produced. It was totally professional level. I mean, who's some of the teachers of the art there?
You still have Linda McGee.
Yeah, McGee.
She's been doing
Miss
it for a
McGee.
while?
Yeah, she's still there.
Wendy Romanchik. is
I
the
know
other
that
one.
name. Yeah, I've heard that name before.
Ui Naho'oleva. It's from middle school.
And what about the cultural teachers there? Who are the Hawaiian cultural teachers?
We have Kukini Sua, basically, and Ui Naho'oleva in middle school.
And who's your music teacher?
Molly Shad is chorus, and Proctor, what was his first name? Mr. Proctor is for the band.
And the band is
First
good.
name Mr. Last name Proctor.
First name, Mr. Dance is, we still have David Ward and, Andre Morissette and
Andre's one of the greats.
Vanessa Cerrito is still with us.
A
And
lot of great shows up there.
Yeah.
And in case people are not aware, I know I am because I've gone to a lot of events up there. That beautiful theater you can book. I know Robert Pollock and Seabury has booked many shows up there for the Ebb and Flow Arts and has done many things. But you have also wonderful theater performances up there,
Yeah,
mostly from your students. But MAPPA comes
once or twice a year.
and does beautiful performances. And a lot of times people get a chance to see MAPPA's work through Seabury and what you have up there as well. And it's a wonderful, what you have for performing arts students are actually amazing.
They are. I mean, I'm always blown away by what they produce.
Absolutely fantastic pieces, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when you think about what comes out. What did your kid liked? Sports?
Yeah, he was in soccer and surf team, and my other son was
Soccer
in-
and surf? Mm-hmm. Really? There's
Yep. And then my other son was paddling and soccer and golf.
How do they do that? How
Well,
do
they're
they,
seasonal, so there might be a sport in the spring and then a sport in the fall.
Yeah,
and a
but
sport
how
in
do
the
you
winter.
take the kids down to surf?
Oh, well, just like
They
you
do?
would go surfing.
They take the
Yeah.
actual class down and teach them to surf?
Well, usually a lot of the older students will mentor the younger ones and take them, or the parents drop them off. But we have coaches, so those
But it's
coaches are
actually
there.
you get credits for surfing? Yeah.
Not credits, but they do need to be involved in a sport.
So
to
they can
attend
do that.
Seabury. Mm-hmm.
You know how amazing that is?
Yes, I do.
I'm sorry, I never even imagined that. And they take them down to golf course and they actually can learn to golf?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, and then you get kids that have never done the sport before.
Well, yeah.
And try out for the team, or they don't really try out for the team. Whoever wants to come out for the team is on the team. So it's 100% participation.
What golf courses they use?
All over Maui. Their practice course is Maui Country Club, and then they golf in Kaanapali.
Do they have to buy their own
My,
golf
my.
clubs, or they just rent them, or how does that work?
They buy their own golf clubs,
Mm-hmm.
but the
Or rent their parents?
yeah, there you go. But they take them all over.
I had never,
state.
and I've done like years and years of interviews. I'd never ever heard about this before.
Well,
So this is
Maui
the
has
first
the
thing.
only MIL surf team in the state. So that's.
They should
I
have-
think that's. I think it's really neat that we have the only competing island for surfing. Is
Well,
Maui.
yeah. Put that on your resume.
Something Oahu can learn from.
Because I'm sure the kids love it. I mean, just like for me, music and doing music and writing and my art made it for me. But that could be.
Well, my son went on to USD, University of San Diego, and was on the surf team there. So
Gosh, and so now he already could say he'd had that background in school.
right,
And they have a surf team as part of the college program.
right. Mm-hmm.
See, I never would have guessed this. This is amazing to me. And what was your son's favorite things?
He's been working with his engineering class. They're building, I think it's almost complete, a greenhouse.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they've done
Wow.
it from the ground up. It's pretty cool.
They
Yeah.
actually are building a greenhouse
I think they designed it and
on the
they're-
grounds there.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
And it's even kind of pretty. It's kind of like clear,
Yeah, it's cool
clear
looking.
plastic. I go,
Mhm.
wow.
Yeah.
And so they actually had to figure out exactly how it works and get the best sun and how they're going to keep it going and then
Yeah.
irrigation and all that stuff. And
Yeah, I think they've had to figure everything out.
But
Yeah.
and then he's going to want to come home and build it in your backyard.
Yeah, well, that'd be nice.
right? And that's considered engineering. But I
Yes,
wouldn't have guessed
it's
because
in the engineering class that he's in. Yeah.
I was going to say both of their sons, especially her senior and her older one, their leadership skills are as amazing. Bryce, if he could be here, he would have been here because he's so giving. Great speaker, totally believes in the school. They both represented the school well when they're here.
I know Tim from Polly's,
Ellison, yeah,
Yeah, Tim Ellison.
and what they're doing now. With,
And his son decided he wants to help in the world, and he travels, and they go to Cambodia. Is it called something Step or Step
Mhm.
Ahead or something? And,
build water systems for them because that's what they need.
and he travels and backpacks and goes around and helps people around the world. And who would have ever, guessed you could do that?
Mm-hmm.
But again, that a lot of the seeds, and when I talked to Tim, he says a lot of this came from his time at Seabury Hall.
And emphasis on community service, which they still have to do today. So yeah,
So students have to do something. I didn't know that
they
either. So
have
it's-
to. How many
All
hours?
throughout high school,
20
20 hours each year.
For
does-
I think it's for upper school it's 20 hours, and for middle school it's 10.
and does the fair count? Does the sa-
if
The fair
does
does
the
not
craft
count.
fair- Oh, it doesn't count.
no,
They
no,
can do
it-
extra.
No, it does count as if they have already done their craft fair shift.
Yeah.
If they do because each one has to do a craft fair shift. The middle school does 2 hours, and high school does 3 hours.
There's actually a shift.
We
All
plug them
kids
in.
are required,
Yeah,
to,
to do a
to
shift.
work a shift. So if they go beyond their
Then it's considered
shift, then they
community.
can accumulate community service.
So how do
hours.
they decide? Is there certain community service that is suggested, or they just decide on their own what community service they
There's
want to do?
suggestions, and then they have to go through the person who's in charge of it and get the okay.
So what'd your sons do?
Volunteered at church for a long time. A lot of community service things through Boy Scouts of America, different invasive species
I love it.
picking out in Hana.
Eradication, huh?
Yeah, I mean
Wow.
it's different, a lot of different
Making a
kinds of
difference.
things. Yeah.
Well, we thought we'd only have a little time, and the other person didn't call in, so we had a whole hour almost. And I've learned things I never knew about the Seabury Hall Crafts Fair coming up May 11th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you want the best in the rummage sale, you better get there at dawn and get your burrito while you're standing in line. Go to SeaburyHall.org and find out more. And it's been a pleasure talking to you all. Really great to see you, Gayle, finally. And
And the keiki 12 and under are free.
yay, a big aloha.
Aloha.